So, the next scene we see Naomi brings Omar.
Hey everybody!
What up, y'all?
What up, though?
Thank you for tuning in
To
Clink, the recap.
The recap.
We
recap.
re-
Girl, I just got to say, did you see that they canceled Pete Valley?
That was a April Fool's trick.
Oh, I was about to be like, the hell, damn! I had an attitude. I was like, what the hell? Why would they do
I
that?
saw that. I was like, hold up. But that was April Fool's. It better be.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, hi y'all again. We are your hosts,
Cam,
and I'm Kay. Hey,
what up, though?
what up, though? Y'all know what time it is.
It's time to clink, 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 clink,
With
clink,
the
clink,
four
and
fine brothers of Johnson, honey. Y'all know we are reviewing Johnson season 2. Okay, we are doing episodes 5 and 6.
Yes, and we're gonna start off with episode 5, which is entitled "Misunderstanding for Good Reason." Let's go in. Let's get into it.
Let's go in.
Okay, so the scene opens up with Lisa questioning Jervis.
Well, hold on. Let's set this tone. Danny is cooking, right?
But it ain't that part yet.
Okay, go ahead.
Remember that upstairs, fam?
See, that's
why we got together.
That's why.
Because some days I be over here.
All right, I'm over here. We gotta come back. Okay.
So real quick, the scene opens up with Lisa questioning Jervis, sounding real snooty about she wants to like run down his entire day. So he starts answering her, and he like, yeah, this, and she's like, no, what exactly? Like, and he's like, and then he breaks it down for her, and he says, okay, I'll be at home for dinner. So when he gives her the answer the way she wanted him to give her the answer, then she says, now isn't that better? I was like,
I cannot stand her.
So she's acting real childish and ugly.
Yes.
And I love when she says, something smells like bacon. Now, girl, take it away.
Okay, so we see Danny. Yeah, okay. We see Danny cooking, right? She have on, I'm like, but she did have on biker shorts, right?
Did.
Okay. So she had on a Yale sweatshirt, and she's cooking. And Jarvis, she's cooking bacon and eggs, and she's in Jarvis's Yale shirt. And he was like, "Now you can't wear that." So she was like, "I'll turn it inside out." Now she was wrong for this. You know, he a married damn man.
I don't think she thought about it. I think she just
like, okay. So she takes off the sweatshirt. You can see her bra and turns it inside out. He's like, well, okay.
And Jarvis like,
right. So yeah, so that I was like, Danny, I love you, girl, but that was wrong.
You look wrong.
You look wrong right there. That's a married man. You look wrong. So Lisa comes down to the kitchen. And you can tell she's jealous. I mean, and rightfully so.
She's upset because Jervis brought Danny home because somebody tried to break into Danny's house in the last episode, and she called Jervis, and he went over there to get her. He just trying to be a good friend but
Lisa could see was like this little heifer.
She sees a certain way because black don't crack, and you already know you may be a white woman with a black man, but at the end of the day, the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. But she came downstairs acting real stank.
She did act stank.
She was acting so stank. Be a woman about it. I would have been like, girl, thank you for cooking. I would have got me a plate and sat down and ate.
So yeah, because she came down to the kitchen. She asked Jarvis to, Danny said she cooked, and she was like, she's like, I'm good. But Jarvis, you can stay and eat. She said, I'm about to go. She had like a pool suitcase. She said, Jarvis, help me with my bag. He was like, isn't it on rollers?
She's like, Jarvis. So he helped her with her bag to the car. So when she gets out there, she let him have it. Basically, like, why is she here? She don't have no family. Well, if her family's 6 hours away, they can be here by lunch to pick her up. She's just real nasty. So he says whatever. So then he goes to kiss her, and she turns
away, y'all. She did,
and gets her little raggedy ass, her little skinny ass in the car. And he's like,
well, her old in the face looking.
Saw them bags. So he goes back in the house, and Danny is in there cooking, and he takes that plate He like, where that plate at? Let me get that food. And she also made a comment. She said, it was cold in here last night. What y'all got the heat? And he was like, well, Lisa, she keeps the heat on 65.
Y'all know how some people do 65.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the next scene we see Naomi brings Omar. She brings Omar some breakfast in bed.
And he tripping because he like, oh, who is this bringing? Because she's being submissive. He done put that thing back on him.
So Naomi, he's liking the breakfast in bed and everything, and so Naomi was like, her next date, she was like, just say yes, and he was like, okay, yes. She asked him to go to church,
and she knows how he feel about church.
Yeah, she know how he feel about church. So
wait, but before she did that, she told him, it's time for us to live under the same roof. So she asked him, could he get out of the
lease
with Jervis, and he said he went through a lot to give me this lease. And she was like, well, baby, we already together. So he agreed to get rid of the lease for her until she brought up that church thing. Then
right, he's like, we're gonna put this on pause. So yeah, so okay, ladies, and men too. If you are a church kid, like we are, okay, know before you get married to somebody. If you know that they are not into the church like you want them to be, maybe they're not the one.
Maybe you need to pause.
Maybe you need to pause. On the same page. Yeah, because she's trying to make him go, and he says that, and he really got upset because she said that but Caleb she's gonna have him go like this youth program, and he was like, I have feelings too. How come you didn't run that by me?
I like the way that he said I have feelings too. He said, because if I did this to you, you would get all offended and all upset, and then don't try to dismiss my feelings. Because he does have the right. Everybody has the right to have feelings,
and that's what I really love about this show. Again, it's written from the male's perspective, and I love how they are expressing like, hey, I have feelings too. It's not just about you in this relationship.
And Omar is emotionally intelligent.
Yes, he is. And if you want to know what we're talking about, look at our episode from Tuesday night. Okay. All right.
About emotional intelligence.
Yes. So Naomi is like, she's baffled. She said, I don't know why you had this disdain with religion. You grew up in the church. And he said he has a problem with like a lot of the preachers, saying one thing and doing something else.
Like a lot of people have nowadays. Yeah. People being hypocrites,
And then she was like, she trying to get on him. And I like how he flipped it on her. He was like, you still haven't forgiven your father.
Right.
Don't the word say forgive?
Right. It's some issue. He says, so don't pick and choose what part of the word that you want to use. And a lot of people do that in life.
A lot of people.
Period. Yes. We try to get the upper hand. So sometimes we gotta get the stone out of get the sty out of our eye before we try to get the log out of our eye before we try to get the sliver out of yours. Hold it. Okay. So she tells him that me and Caleb will be in church on Sunday. He didn't argue with her. He just looked at her and said, okay. So just then, Greg gets hit in the head with egg.
With a raw egg, y'all.
By a little boy named Quincy. He hits him in the head, honey, and he runs. And it was so funny because Greg was trying to catch him. He ran and he fell. Then he tried to catch him, and that little boy was gone up them steps. And he was like, oh, man. So it was funny. So the teacher, the little boy Quincy ran into the teacher. She stopped him and she gave him detention.
Yeah, Miss Wanda. So Greg goes into Wanda's office, and Jarvis. Yeah, you kind of mentioned that Jarvis and Danny's in the house, but what we didn't mention is that he said he still wants to make sure that she's safe, and he offers to pay for a motel. I'm like, oh, Jarvis can't get a hotel.
But the funny part about this, when he came back in the house from talking to Lisa, Danny, like, she ran it down for him, like, I already know, because see, we have intuition. We like,
we know when a woman is like.
He was like, yeah, but you came in her house, you put on a shirt, then you cooked her food
better than she did,
because she don't cook. But, So she said she called Lisa's vibe and she ran it down, and he offered her a room. She accepts and breakfast, and he accepts her breakfast, and she accepts his offer for the hotel, which is a motel, which is down the street, because he said he knows the owner.
Yeah.
So Greg checks in with the principal. He tells her thank you for the opportunity, and she tells him that she's running low on staff, but she's also she's overwhelmed a little bit. Her assistant keeps going home early, and she's going for the job of the superintendent.
And I love, like he says, I said in my notes, I have Wanda mentioned she's making a run for the superintendent. And Greg says her line from the Steve Harvey show. He was like, "Okay, boss lady," because you know how Levita always said "boss lady" to Piggy. I was like, "Oh, that was cute." I heard that little Easter egg.
So then he says, "Why don't you meet me at the bar for drinks?" And she's like, "I don't think that'll be appropriate." And then she's like, "Well, why don't you go ahead and then I'll come back a little
like I'll come in 30 minutes,
later.
And then I'll slide in." Because she was like, she did tell him, like, you can't keep coming in here willy-nilly because people are going to talk. Because she is big on appearances. Yeah, because she is the boss.
And she like the kids is the teachers is worse than the kids. So
this Omar meets with his partner Tyler.
Oh, that's so sad.
I know. He meets with his partner Tyler, and Tyler told him that Omar was all geek, like,
let's get these contracts signed. Let's go.
He's ready. The investors, because the last meeting that they had, they were all gung ho, but they just had to do some checks.
Background checks on them.
So Tyler breaks it to Omar that the investors pulled out because of Omar's background check,
his battery charge. Yeah. And it's sad because Tyler really wanted to stay, but he's like, I got bills, I got a brand new baby, I got kids,
daycare. We all know how much daycare is.
And Omar's like, look, he like, you'll be straight, we can. He said, I can't. It's been 7 years. I need health insurance. Yeah. I need to be able to take care of my family.
And he said because of that setback, it's like they're right back where they started 7 years ago, and he needs to move on.
So he quits.
So he quit, and it was very amicable. He put his hand out for him to shake.
So hopefully Omar gonna get all the money later, but we don't know yet. Well, I don't know yet because I ain't seen it.
So Keith goes to Keith goes to Little Day Day studio
to get his money for his camera. He like, I'm here to get my money for my camera. They got sirens in the background. Right. Act like they don't want to let him in. He looking like, let me in, damn it. Because
he was like, I can go. He's like, no, we good. And Little Day Day's right hand man, he just like looking around like, no, you straight. I would have been like, you know what, I'll come back.
He was trying to come back. So it was really cute what happened because Little Day Day is getting into a beef with this other rapper named Nate. And so Nate released a diss record on Little Day Day. So he like, what to do? So he asked the people in the room, okay, y'all don't know nothing. What's up? He was like, well, leave then. And so Keith is talking to Little Day Day's manager, trying to get
he got his money. He gave him his money.
He gave him some money. He was counting that cash. He was like, so he's talking to him. He was like, what's funny is Nate went to school with my little cousin in Buckhead, which is the suburbs. So he's like, what? So he said, get your cousin on the phone. So
right, because he spilled that tea. He didn't know he was spilling tea.
He just was saying.
So the manager got Little Day Day in there, and he was like,
that nigga used to play the French horn.
Right, he went to private school. Like, he's not really representing Atlanta. And so Little Day Day was like, call your cousin up.
And get a picture from his yearbook so we can put this fool on blast. And then they say, you know what? They're going to make a diss record and take the picture and put it on as the album cover. So he was raised in the suburbs claiming that he hood, and that is not a good look.
It's not a good look, y'all. So Wanda meets Greg at the bar.
She real flirty. She said, oh, you look nice. You clean up nice.
Greg said, he was like, I got the bar, the booth in the back. So I know you're concerned about your image, so to speak. So that's why he did that. And
he was like, yeah, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Because he was looking scrumptious.
Okay.
All right, Greg.
So they had like a nice little conversation. But you see how she mentioned sex? Like, oh, you know what? She probably had a dry spell, and she like, this Negro looks good. So let me see what
I got him that job. He can give me a little pink little paint.
Maintenance man clean when you
That
clean
part.
tune up my pipes.
So they start having banter back and forth, and then
Mm-hmm.
he tells the truth that he lied on his application that
She
he
was
did
like,
not get
I
a
knew
bachelor's
that.
degree.
I knew
She was
that.
like, next time pick a 4-year college
Right.
because that college is a junior college and it's
Only
only
2
2
years.
years.
He was like, oh man. He was like,
Man.
okay. But she was like, he was trying to explain to her, like, I'm more than just a maintenance
I mean,
man.
she said, I know, I see your
Right.
swag, I see the way you carry yourself, I hear the way you talk. So, honey,
She said, I see your potential.
girl, she was looking at him
But
like
see,
this.
when she said that, I was like, no, boo, we ain't supposed to go with potential.
No, she was like, because when you talk, I just watch your mouth.
Ooh.
But I like when they was doing that little toast. She said, "Why didn't you give me no eye contact? Because you know that means that's gonna be 7 years of bad sex."
So that's why I said she brought that up.
He did, and he was like, "I ain't never had no problem with my sex." I was like, "All right, Greg, you better let her know."
Look, I would have been like this. Let me see. No,
how's your head game? Oh, my bad.
So little Day Day is going live on social media. He got Keith in the live and everything. Said this is my shooter. Girl, it was so funny. Keith was like, "Camera, I'm shooting the camera."
Right, he's so corny, but you know that's gonna give him street cred with his with everybody because little Day Day is starting to blow up. So in the social media, they're blasting him and everything, and Lisa tells Jarvis that she does.
Lisa and Jarvis having dinner.
Not feel safe in their home ever since the thing that happened.
Who are you?
And then
you're not the man that I married from Yale. Now you're playing the race card. You're being distant. I'm like, girl, if
and he's like, you're not listening to me. He's like, okay, what do I need to? I'm thinking about getting a firearm. So she's like, that's not the solution to the problem. So Lisa tells Jervis that he's playing the race card. He's like, the last time I checked, I'm the one that got my ass whooped. He the one that got beat up by.
But the officer was black. He's like, that don't be the worst kind.
Right. He says, true. So what? So then she blames Greg. Right. You've been hanging around Greg too long. Right. And Jarvis is like, what? He's like, don't do that. So basically, she's trying to emotionally manipulate him. And so he tells her, I give you respect, and I expect the same back from you. Because she started talking to him reckless.
She did.
Then he says he's going to protest tomorrow. She says, well, if you're doing that, I'm going to go and stay at my sister's for a little while. And she expected for him to be like, okay, baby, I'm not going to do whatever. He tells her, you go do what's best for you.
You do you. You do you. While you bet your sisters, I'm at this protest. While you eating potato salad with raisins in it, I'm going to be out here.
Okay. So Greg goes to get his lunch from the refrigerator. And that little funky teacher, she tells him, oh, I didn't see that because, sometimes stuff like that gets thrown in the trash if you don't have your name on it.
But what she said was, technically, this refrigerator is for teachers. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, she a truck.
And turns out she ate. She was eating his food. I can't do that. This is somebody else's food.
And they didn't eat his food. And then everybody in the staff room was looking at her like, "What are you doing?" She's talking about, "Shoot, this is good."
Can you do that? I can't do that because they already ate out of it. Yes, I can't do that.
So she eats his food, and you can tell at that point she's very messy. She a trip.
Mm-hmm. So Omar, Eugene, and Caleb, they indeed go camp because the last episode, Omar invited Eugene out because Caleb is starting to, get a feeling for the girl. So he was like, "It's that time to have like that talk." So they did end up going camping. And
at first, Uncle was acting all bougie, like he didn't want to be there. He had somebody bring him some food and all that. And he like, we're on a camping trip. You're supposed to eat what you catch.
Mm-hmm. And I like how, because Omar did say to Eugene, he was like, Caleb's on the like girls now. He wrote a note to a girl saying that he want to French kiss her for 10 seconds in the cafeteria. And he was like, not in the cafeteria, behind the cafeteria. So, and I like the conversation that Omar had with his son about women, how to respect them, don't just treat them like property.
And how to wait for the right one and not just, he was like, but dad, she gonna be, he was like, no, you wait till you're 18 right. And you wait for the right one. So I like the fact that he's telling him, take your time, because the girls are gonna be there.
They're gonna be there. So Keith and Jackie, they are Jackie comes to Keith. You okay? Mm-hmm. Jackie comes to Keith's studio
for her photo shoot.
But she kind of reneged because she said that she didn't lose the 15 pounds that she wanted to lose for the photo shoot.
Well, she called it ounces.
She did.
She said 260 something ounces, which I love, instead of pounds, because she said it made her feel better. Yeah. But she is such a pretty girl. I think she is so pretty.
Inside and out. Mm-hmm. And
I like when he says, well, he tells her, you don't have to lose weight. And he gives her this big dissertation. And she looks at him and says, oh, honey, I was losing the weight for me.
Exactly. She was like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't need you to, trying to, build up my confidence. I love my curves now. She said, I was doing this for me.
Yes.
So I like that. I like how she is comfortable in her body. So she ended up taking a few pics anyway, because she said she went to fashion school. So she kind of like altered the dress that she had on and put little bantu knots.
I was like, okay. Yeah. So she asked him for some scissors and she cut that puppy up. Yeah. She fixed that outfit and she looked really cute. And he said, I'm going to retouch the photos and I'll get them back to you. And she said, I want them to be exactly the way you took them. I don't need no retouches.
She said, I don't do that. I don't want that. No retouches.
So Jervis and the protesters go into the police station.
Y'all, hold on. So it shows this thing, Jarvis out there, I'm like, okay, protesters. So he's leading the charge.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, Jarvis is all in. Once you get your ass beat, I guess. You have a new lease on life, okay?
He needed a little motivation.
He did. He got that come back home.
You want a bus now. He was like, that little feel.
So they go inside the police station and Jarvis calls for the chief because he wanted to speak to him. Jarvis mentioned that he and Danny, their houses have been broken into. Mm-hmm. They've been intimidated. And so the chief had like this snarky look on his face. He was like, how come you didn't call us?
He was like, because y'all the ones doing it.
Right.
And I like how he got a little attitude. He's like, because y'all the ones doing it. And he gives him this fake behind whatever. And he's like, it's okay. And then he puts up the fist.
Yeah, but the chief did assure Jarvis that his officers were not involved in the break-in.
Whatever.
So we back at the campsite and Quantavia shows up.
Cedric the Entertainer.
AKA Cedric the Entertainer. And the one that financed Keith's studio.
And so they had a little discussion and he said he's tired of being in the background.
Well, hold up, but he came with Eugene's food though. Eugene told him to bring some food because he didn't want to eat. But
he had some seafood.
I like his bib on and everything. I might stop. Okay, go ahead.
Quantavious had been driving around for a while. Quantavious, Lord, where did he get that from? So he brought the food and everything, and he was like, "This for me." He's like, "This is for me. You and your son gonna eat that fish, which y'all remember you don't eat what you catch."
Right. Eugene just basically saying, just telling Quantavious trying to bring Eugene back. He's like, okay, we can go back. He's like, no, I'm going to stay. I'm going to stay with my folks.
Which was cool because at first he wasn't feeling it.
Yeah.
But then he gave Omar a great compliment. He was like, I really see what you're doing with your son and I really do like it. And so he wanted to stay there with him to be supportive, to be a part of what's going on.
Yeah. So Greg goes back to Wanda's office saying that he think that Miss Warren took his lunch. And this is when Wanda told him that he needed to stop popping in and out her office.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes to Greg. He goes to Danny's motel room.
I mean,
just to check. Yeah, what I have?
Look at Greg.
I did, and I have that in my nose. Oh my god! So Jarvis, y'all, the Don't get me the line. Jarvis go. Greg is not.
I'm about to say if you
Greg
said Greg,
no.
I'm about to say Greg getting freaky on the side too. Greg getting freaky on the side.
No, so Jarvis goes to check on Danny at the hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, excuse me, motel room. And she's settled in and everything. He's just checking on her,
They're
and
just sitting there kicking it.
Yeah, they're kicking it. They have a conversation. She said, "I hope I didn't get you in trouble with your wife." And he was like, we've been having trouble before.
He let her know that I've been sleeping on the couch, and he said, "I'll be waking
on purpose."
Yeah, he said, "I'll be waking up cold." And
she asked him, "Did she put a blanket on you when you sleep?" Like, no, I've been waking up cold.
He was like, "No,
that's ball. That is ball." Because if my dude was like on the couch,
I still would cover him up.
Yes,
even if I didn't like him.
Right. Even if we had an argument and his butt, like, I'm going to the couch. And if he didn't have a throw or something, I like in the middle of the night, I would go in there.
I don't think people do that no more. They'd be like, "You can go to the couch." But the thing I don't understand is, y'all got like a 5-bedroom house. Why are you laying on the couch when you got beds? I'm saying.
Sure, and you got a spare. True, you got a whole spare room. You have
what
a
you
whole
sleeping on the couch
room,
for,
but you on the couch.
Look, what you sitting on the couch
Wow.
for,
So Danny was like, I ain't never getting married. She was like, if I do, we gonna stay in separate houses, So they just kicking it and talking.
And he is so. I think for Jervis, it is refreshing to him to be able to talk to a Black woman who understands what he goes through. And he was just telling her how his parents were married for 40 years, and she, they really getting to know each other in a relationship outside of work. So I think it's pretty cool. But then the funny part, she orders a pizza with pineapple.
No, the funny part for me was it was a knock on the door and this Negro jumps. I'm like, what are you jumping for, Jarvis? What you jumping for? But anyway, she was like, "Come on, like that's I ordered a pizza." Mm-hmm. He's like, "Whoa, Lisa here." That's probably what he was thinking.
And then she had pineapples on the pizza. He's like, "Who put pineapples on the pizza?" She was like, "You didn't have a problem with it when you was eating it." And then he ate the last slice too. I said, "Okay."
The last slice, but I don't do pineapple on pizza. I'm one of those people that's like, no. My sister-in-law, she loves it.
I do too.
Oh, you wanted it? Oh, I can't. Okay. So when they get the pizza though, somebody is taking pictures of them. Like,
yes,
somebody's spying on them, y'all.
I don't know if it's the police or if it's Lisa.
You'll find out soon. Okay, so
this popcorn is so good.
So Miss Warren, that's the teacher that ate Greg lunch. She's in detention with a young guy who threw the egg on Greg. And
he talks her into letting him leave early because
she did
playing with his friends.
So she goes to her car, right? She sees both of them, Wanda's car and Greg's car, in the parking lot, and her nosy ass gonna go to the window, and they kissing, y'all.
Honey, and she's taking that shirt off. He put her up on top of that desk. So you know what was gonna happen next, and then that little heifer, she's gonna walk back to her car. She's like, "Oh." I was like, "You just mad it ain't you?" But,
right. So, and we already said this part. So Danny and Jarvis, they're talking. So, I like this part when Danny was like, "Quality men are rare." I'm like, "Yes, they are. Yes, they are." Because we say all day, like, it's easy to get a man. It's easy to get D, but it's rare to get a good quality man.
And it's rare to get some good D. But I'm sorry, I didn't say that, but yeah, it's a grown person show.
No, I was gonna say it's not that rare for me. I can get good D, but it's just the good quality man part, Yeah. So Omar and Eugene are talking again, and it's nightfall now, and I think we kind of covered that too.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yes, this part. So while they were talking, Omar asked Eugene. He said, "Why did you stop preaching, Unc?" And he was like, basically, he was broke. He was like,
I wasn't making no money.
I wasn't making no money. He said, some preachers, they get a salary, some don't. he said he was the one that did not, and he was broke. Yeah. So and then Eugene mentions that Omar's like old pastor is about to retire,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, okay. So he asked if he's going to go to the retirement. Omar asked asked Eugene that, and he was like, "No, I don't." Right.
But I remember he was telling a story about how his lights were getting turned off in his house, and they wouldn't help. The church would not help them. They told him, "Here goes some food. You can go to the food drive and get some food," but they didn't pay the light bill.
They didn't pay the bill. They just gave him some. I forgot what he said, like some corn or something, or some food.
You got to meet the need.
You gotta meet the need of the people. But a lot of churches they don't pay the bills. You know. And then because Omar was saying, you have these preachers who, have the jets.
This popcorn is good.
Who have the private jets and this and that. And I like how you did. He was like, Jesus rode an ass, so they need to get their ass on. They can get your ass on Southwest.
Shameless plug.
Right.
Okay. Right, though. Good, get your ass on Southwest.
Right. So it goes back to Jarvis and Danny in the room. He's in the bathroom. He's washing his hands. He's cleaning up. He's talking, and he was like, because Danny mentioned that she might have to go back home to Tennessee, and so he was like, "Well, you don't have to go back home." He said, You could be like a broker or a real estate. He's trying to offer her a job, trying to help her.
He like, you can stay here. You can come back to work. You can get your position back. You can whatever you want to do. And as he's saying this, he goes in the room and she's asleep.
She's sleeping. Guess what he does, y'all?
He covers her with a blanket.
And it fades to black. This is a good show. I love
it. It is. I was so glad when he covered her up. I was like, there are some good men in the world.
Mm-hmm. So that is Johnson recap episodes 5 and 6, y'all. So yeah. And Cam is really enjoying that.
It is so
good. Not gonna say what brand it is because they are not paying us. Okay.
It's called good.
You wanna you still chewing or you wanna close us out?
Well, as you know, you have watched the recap of the Johnsons with Cam and Kay here on Clink's Recap.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, please like us, share, subscribe. We're trying to get to 200 subscriptions by the end of.
Well, we didn't put a time.
We didn't put a time.
But we are going to have a giveaway. Once we hit 200, we're at right now. As of right now, we're at 83.
We're almost at 100.
We're almost there, y'all. So as soon as we get to 200, we're going to have a very nice giveaway.
Yes.
And the only way that you can enter that is if you are a subscriber. Okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be really good, y'all. It's going to be
cool. Good. So we are so excited that you joined us here on.
We have to do this, y'all.
Clink. And until next time.
Bye.
Margarita.